In 1997, Fargo barely managed to survive the flood. It took some very clever engineering construction of temporary dikes, massive sandbagging effort. Yeah, there were some neighborhoods that failed, but largely the city itself was saved by this human effort. As those waters worked their way into Grand Forks hoped to accomplish the same thing. But by the time the flood arrived, it was so enormous that it overcame the diking system in Grand Forks.
I was here in '97, I lived here, and at that time I think the river crested at 39.5 feet. We were expecting a 39 to 40 foot flood, and now they're saying 41 feet, which would be I think unprecedented.
You know, a lot of people are worried that's going to be the same impact. They're projecting that it's supposed to crest even higher than it did in '97. So to us, that speaks very highly of the damage that can be done.
The 2009 flood is very similar to the 1997 flood in that we had a long winter, a cold winter.
What happened here, they got an early freeze in October. The ground froze, and it froze real deep, 5-6 feet. So any water you have is not sinking in and being absorbed by the ground, it's running off. Then you had an early storm starting in October. Heavy snowfall through the fall and into December. Then it warmed up real quick, real fast, and everything started to melt. Just as it's melting, you're getting more bad weather in. So it's almost a perfect storm.
One of the aspects about having a northward flowing river here is that the thaw begins in the southern portion of the valley. So waters are released in the southern portion of the valley, and as they work their way northward, so is the thaw working its way northward. So all the system couples together, and as the floodwaters then work their way northward, the flood becomes larger and larger and vaster and vaster.
3597 and Team 3598 is going to be 10-8.
Number of things going on. The city's expanding levees, filling sandbags, looking at special protective measures, advanced planning in terms of what the needs may be.
But I think we still have to call there.
And they're expecting it to crest up at about 41 feet, which would be right now about 1 foot below the top of this dike. So as you can see, it's got quite a ways that it's still going to rise up here, another 4 or 5 feet or more.